introduced hundreds of new tools, all engineered by experts. And
I want to talk about this because this is weird. People have tried to pretend that they don't like technology now. I don't know. I think it's odd. We'll see what it says.
Technology. It makes our lives easier so we can focus on the good things in life, like recreationally using technology. Up until the past decade or so, technology was exciting. It was solving all these problems we... recreationally using technology. Up until the past decade or so, technology was exciting. It was solving all these problems we faced and making life more enjoyable, all while looking sick as fuck. Somewhere in the 2010s, though, it started to create more problems than it solved. It was distracting drivers, causing addictions and mental illness, stealing jobs, and it just stopped looking cool as fuck. We went from being hyped over every new advancement to...
I think this is a boomer take. I do. I think this is kind of a boomer take because there's a lot of pieces of technology now that I really like. Who said technology is bad? Who decided this? I think technology is great. I love technology. I mean, I can see what he's saying, but I think that the reason why people have come to hate technology is because they don't have self-control. They can't regulate their time. They can't regulate their emotions. They go on social media and they get themselves mad. Like, I mean, really, whose fault is that?
Indifferent, if not a little resentful and maybe scared. Today I'm going to go over how fun and exciting technology used to be, how our perception of it has shifted to kind of hate it, and why this is all happening. Let me take you back to when technology was still fun. I'm not going to say this is the best era, but this is kind of right before people started to just fucking hate it.
Or like a
things
car.
coming out like the iPod. Holy shit. I can listen to Beyonce, Hot Shell Ray, and pirate fighting sounds without the cumbersome tapes and CDs of the past. There were new computers dropping left and right.
Well, the reason why the iPod was so good is because before we had iPods, we had CDs. We had CD players. And even the really good CD players would skip. They would, obviously, CDs deteriorated over time, and you could only have one CD in at a time. So if you wanted to listen to a bunch of different music, you couldn't do that, really. And so that's the reason why. It's because the iPod solved a new problem that the existing technology didn't solve. And I think a lot of people's frustration with technology nowadays also is the fact that it creates problems to solve for itself. Or it solves problems that don't exist.
What do I want to buy? Maybe the computer with the big-ass booty? I don't even know if I can handle all that ass.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go with the laptop with the
friend had
red-hot
this
nipple in the middle.
I had one of those.
A friend once told me that their nipples get darker the angrier they get. I don't know if that's true.
I don't
or
know.
if that's even relevant here, but I can't be the only one carrying the burden of knowing that. On second thought, this is kind of triggering. I think I'm just going to go with the Dell.
Oh.
This is the 2000s, not Toontown. You still had safe options like the Dell. If you were interested in safe options, though, gaming was just not for you in the 2000s. Not only was it really edgy for some reason, but every console was revolutionary. Oh my god, the new PlayStation and Xbox consoles have high resolution buff dudes and bodacious paint.
I think that's true, that old consoles made way bigger leaps than consoles do now. Like, nowadays, you have consoles that come out, and it's basically the same thing. The last console that I think really made a big difference was the Nintendo Switch. And then the last one that had technology that was valuable was the PS3 because it came with a Blu-ray player. Other than that, yeah, a lot of the stuff didn't really matter.
And if you're not into that, you can just whack off with the Wii. Like
the
whack
Wii was
the
amazing.
tennis racket. Like, console launches and even game launches were national events. I'm pretty sure businesses closed on the day Halo 3 came out. I mean, people kicked out for this game. I don't think people even drove to the store for Halo Infinite. You know what?
Well, no, because nobody played it. But there are people, like, for example, whenever I went to the Nintendo Switch 2, like a fucking midnight release, there was like maybe 30 people there or so, and they were giving it, honestly, they were giving them out before midnight, and so we just went in there and got one, that was it. and left. And so, yeah, no, it does happen because you download it, yeah. And like, I remember, I think it was Cataclysm. And like, me, Cody, and Jeff, and my mom all went, and we went to the pre-expansion release of Cataclysm. Cool. It might have been Mists of Pandaria, but I think it was Cata. And I remember our friend Austin downloaded it remotely on his computer, right? Because that was the first digital download. And I remember we called him the F word constantly because he didn't go with us, right? We were so mad. We're like, bro, like, how do you just download it on your PC? No, you've got to go to the midnight release at GameStop with us. What do you mean, right? We were so mad at him. And I thought Raph was. Well, I think that the Cata was the first time that we did it. And we were so annoyed. And that those events were so much fun. They were. And I think now people just digital download. But for physical releases, like for example, we got the SNES Mini, my friend Eric and I, and like we got there at like 7:30 in the morning to buy one. And I swear to God, every single other person there was 32 years old. Literally every single one. It was all a bunch of fucking 90s to 1988 to 1992 year-old men. Half of them had their wife in the car that's like...
Well, this is all about vibrational ratios.
Like... sitting there waiting, and, you know, they're walking out. You know, that was it, right? And look at you now. Yeah, that was a while ago. And that's it. Born 88, yeah. And so you still have this, but with software, it's different than hardware.
People camped out for literally everything in the 2000s. What was up with that? Huh. Captain Crunch is releasing an all-berries variety. Someone get my camping tent. Probably the biggest camping event
I don't want the
was
switcher
for a
now.
phone,
No.
which is where we got hit the hardest in this downfall of technology. Yeah. Buying a phone was like buying a car. You had to weigh the pros and cons of every model and really picture what your life was going to be like.
Well, they were so different, right? I mean, you had a Nokia phone that was like this. You had Blackberries that were like that. You had the Motorola Razr. You had flip phones. You had like all like there was a lot of variation. Or like nowadays, there's the only variation
I swear to God, there's no
achievement
for like
flip,
the
right? Like
baby
Emmy has that
stuff.
phone that like is a
There
Game
is
Boy
on
Advance,
Java.
basically. But other than that, or Game Boy SP, Game Boy Advance SP, where like you can like flip it back and forth. But that was it. And that's literally it. Other than that, there's no other customization that you have.
So this one has a built-in MP3 player,
cool
high-speed 3G service, and a sliding keyboard.
Oh, that's big. That's real big. Wow.
Let me just go with the blue one, please. You got different phones coming out with cool new features, unique shapes.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, we had these
varying sizes and keyboards that deployed in ways you never even could have imagined. There was genuinely something for everyone. Nokia, Razr, Sidekick, Pearphone, BlackBerry, and the iPhone were so novel, and more importantly, so diverse. They were worth camping out for. Kind of, not really. Today you just buy them online or go to the Apple store. Nowadays you walk into an AT&T store trying to buy a phone looking like this. They're just like, what the fuck? You look good for 65. How can I help you, sir? This concept of having something for everyone extended to the internet as well. Hey, check it out. We don't need cable when we could just watch homoerotic content on this YouTube thing. Finally, another outlet for me to show off my shit music taste. Wow, I really wish I could see my favorite celebrities share shitty one-liners and or racist hot takes.
Yep, there you go.
Awesome. I hope this doesn't turn into a schizo battlefield of who could be the most offensive or offended. You're telling me I could sign up to see what my old high school buddies are up to, or if I'm only 9 years old, I could sign up to still play games?
Be retarded.
I love Facebook.
Yep, there you go.
I hope this doesn't turn into a geriatric battlefield arguing whether or not this video of Michael Jackson as Superman is real.
Wait, oh my God, is that really him?
There were always new websites cropping up, so all furries had to do was wait just 1 more second. There you go. New website for you guys. Don't do anything weird on there. Although
I don't want to do that. And that's always how it's been. But those websites are still around now. Like DeviantArt is still around. People still use DeviantArt.
of annoying. There was something fun about all websites looking different and getting redesigns every few years. A few years ago, I got this book from a used bookstore, and it just has a bunch of Flash websites, and it is fucking sick. It is genuinely sad.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
I think that everybody thinks this is true until they have to use one of these websites, and then it's annoying and hard to understand. But I do think that having some flair to the website, so like,
seem
here's a
lonely.
really good parallel.
You're not gonna be lonely no more.
How cool was it, the UI for like Expedition 33 as a game, or for Metaphor ReFantazio? The UI was it was its own type of art by itself. And so I'm not completely out on this idea, but I think that things have become more uniform because that's what makes more sense for more people.
Regularly browse the Pokemon website as a kid, and you know when a new redesign dropped. My little ass was popping champagne.
Oh.
Or I guess it was just apple cider. At the time, it seemed like technology
Like
was
Neopets.
always advancing and getting better. You can see how positively we thought about it with the obsessive use of Fruitiger Arrow. This is officially a YouTube video because I said the word Fruitiger Arrow. Technology
What
looked
is that?
futuristic yet clean, and we thought it was going to integrate with our natural world. Butterflies were going to be
This is so
flying through
cool.
bubbles and neon
No,
green
get away,
pastures.
get away,
So
get
yeah,
away.
It didn't really
Go away.
integrate with our natural world. It kind of did the
Hmm.
opposite, but I'm getting
Well,
ahead
the natural world integrated with technology instead.
of myself. Actually, I already
I can
got
get
ahead of
some
myself,
bones.
and it just arrived today. All right, going back to where I was, people were excited for what was to come. They had time to breathe between new innovations and enjoy the new product they just bought. New products also warranted being released. They would usually serve a purpose, fix a problem, like tech products.
This is another issue right here, is that the new iPhone will probably do the same thing that the old iPhone did. And the new Samsung phone will probably do the same thing that the old Samsung phone did. But it will have slightly better audio or slightly better video.
Mm-hmm.
But 5% faster, exactly. And so you're really just buying after the iPhone came out,
Ooh, there's like a
all
land
people have been
bridge.
doing since iPhones
That's
is buying the
cool.
new iPhone. This is basically
really
an
nice.
iPhone.
Tuesdays are made for tenders. Get 8 juicy original recipe tenders plus 4 sauces at KFC $10 Tuesdays.
They're supposed to do. If a new iteration of a product came out, it was different enough to justify buying it. Like, yeah, the GameCube could really use a controller that you could whack off. Now, compare all these generalizations to today. None of them are true anymore. Now, before we dive in, I don't mean for this to just be an old good, new bad, because looking at modern technology,
Well, yeah, a lot of these things are pretty cool.
that's just not the case. We have incredible technology. This is more about how our perception of it has changed and how technology is advancing in a less than desirable direction. Also,
I think technology is great. I'm not a big agreeer with this. I think that the problem is that companies just keep wanting to get paychecks for releasing the same product over and over. And that's not really a problem with technology. That's more a problem with that company.
Ooh.
this is not just a boomer thing or
Good
just
one.
a zoomer thing. Most people
Fortune
across
2.
all
Ooh, okay.
ages
I'm
are
gonna mine
starting
coal
to
with that
admit,
bad boy.
yeah, we got a bit of a problem here. For example, think of how people reacted to when something as simple as FaceTime released. I could pick up my phone at any time from anywhere and video call whoever I wanted, and it didn't look like 2 pixels. It was genuinely mind-blowing. You know what? My friend had buffalo wings from Chuck E. Cheese the other day.
Well, it was mind-blowing. Like, my dad would talk about this. Like, back in the day, 3,000 years ago, whenever he was a kid, they had a party line, which means that, each home in the area didn't have an actual unique dedicated phone line. And so if you picked up the phone, there was a chance that somebody else would actually pick up the phone instead, or somebody else would be on the phone at the same time, and it was like your neighbor. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, exactly. A grandparent said that. Yeah, exactly. So, I think this is something that's happened in waves over time.
Okay, so I'm gonna give him a quick call and see how he's doing. Hey, buddy, how's your stool?
You gotta help me, man. There's so much blood.
All right. Now compare that reaction to when I say these 2 letters, AI, or these 3 letters, NFT, or these 4 letters, SPUM. This shit is in the...
I think AI has value. NFT doesn't have any value. People use AI all the time now. Like, everybody likes to complain about AI, but I see people constantly using AI.
The news every week,
I don't know what's
and we're
going on.
tired of hearing about it. AI is more concerning because at least with NFTs, it was just kind of like an idiot pastime. You didn't have to worry about it affecting your everyday life, and it just kind of died out on its
Just
own
an
after
idiot,
a few
yeah.
months. Who knew that a poorly animated eyesore of an ugly-ass, shitty-ass...
Isn't it crazy how right I was about that guy getting his NFT stolen was the end of NFTs? Somewhere inside of me, I just knew, like, this is the beginning of the end.
Cartoon
Green?
wasn't
Yeah.
gonna save these
That's the
things.
guy.
Could you have predicted that?
Yeah.
Can we call in That's So Raven and ask if she could have predicted that this ugly-ass, shitty cartoon was not going to save the world of scamming that is NFTs? AI and automation advancements are not as fun as advancements in keyboard deployment technologies or video game graphics. Like, we kind of have to be...
I think that people really like the ability, like, if you look at the Studio Ghibli filter thing and how popular that was, I think that you can see that people still do revel and enjoy new technological leaps and technological innovation. And I think that's probably the most recent example that I could talk about that would be an indicator of people still enjoying new technology. And then you even have now, you've got the Google Veo 3, which is the Google Video Editor. That also is really, really popular. People love that. But would you pay for a Studio Ghibli filter? Well, people pay for ChatGPT or they pay for some form of AI subscription that uses that as a function. Yeah, they do. It's actually very common. That's why these companies are raising billions of dollars of capital. Yeah, I mean, sure. Darth Vader, yeah, think about, remember Darth Vader in Fortnite? People love that.
With the outcome of the former. And this is kind of how we feel about everything in tech now. Hesitant and exhausted. Everything was becoming more convenient and solving all these little annoyances of everyday life.
Yeah.
But now we've regressed. You try to order food or even just look at the menu of a restaurant before you go, and it wants you to sign up or it's going to throw you into the App Store to download their app. You want to...
Okay, that's a good point. This is the first one I totally agree with. Having to set up an account or having to make another
28
profile
boo.
in order to use a piece of hardware that you've already paid your money for. Like, why do you not have just a localized piece of software that you can just install onto the PC that automatically detects that you are using this piece of hardware? Like a game launcher, like anytime that there's a game launcher for a game launcher, like I have to go to Steam and then I use Steam to open up another game. Oh, bro, fuck you. No, man, that's too much.
Take the train, you got to download an app. You want to take the bus in the same city, you got to download a different app. You want to check into the emergency...
And another one that's really annoying is, like, have you ever been to a restaurant? Like, I'm in Austin, Texas, and so we've got a lot of these, like, kind of hippie restaurants and shit like this, is that you have a restaurant and they don't even have menus. You just have to scan a QR code in order to read the menu. Yeah, scan the menu. I don't like digital menus. I'm an old man now. Digital menus are too much. Yep, that's the bridge too far. My dad and I, we went to a place like that. I forgot, it was like some Mexican restaurant. And like, we thought it was going to be a nice place you could sit down. Bro, everybody there was like fucking 21, drinking and screaming and yelling. And like, I came out there and like, we're like, well, where's the fucking menu? And they're like, scan it on your phone. And like, my dad doesn't, especially then, did not know how to even use the smartphone. And he was like, okay.
Como. They're a very high quality iron.
I mean, they perform great.
Best iron in the game.
Still got a good iron.
Love it.
Can I just show you what I'm doing? Use the smartphone. And he was like, okay, let's just go to Cracker Barrel. Like, yeah, what's that? It's like, yeah, we gotta go.
Emergency room because you have the sword of a Sengoku period ninja in your chest.
Sir, can you scan the QR code to check in through the app?
I don't have the app. I just have a sword in my chest. Can I do like a paper form or something?
Yeah.
Sir, can you scan the other QR code to download the app?
Then you got social media, which is just like f***ing horrible now. Look at these statistics. And these ones,
Teen,
too.
what's this here?
F***ing horrible now. Look at these statistics.
Teen and young adults in-person social engagement with friends, annual daily average in minutes. That's bad. Wow. I mean, yeah, I would. I could see that for sure. And that doesn't even count COVID. Yeah, keep that in mind.
And these ones, too.
Dog
Okay, what about
ownership
these
growth.
ones? I think I'm
Top song.
putting up bad statistics, I hope. What started off as a fun way to connect has turned
Yeah,
into...
it's pre-COVID.
I don't even know what to describe this
Yeah.
as. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on with Instagram captions. Like, it's sassy, but you're also in the third person because you're the main
What?
character.
I never
slang,
seen this.
and it's not just a girly thing. I'm not gonna just dog on the girls
What
out
the
there.
fuck?
Us guys do this
I
shit
will.
too. We got default captions and poses too. You gotta work
Yeah.
the boys into every caption and then throw up a 4 when you're posing with said boys. Hey, getting my colonoscopy with the boys. Picking up.
Is this true? I haven't noticed this. I don't think I follow any men on Instagram.
Lost from the store with my boys.
Yeah,
Just went fishing. And then drunk drove and hit a family of 4.
Or do I? Yeah, I don't know why I would.
Then you got Snapchat, which I just
Maybe
had
I've
to
got a
delete
couple.
because what the fuck am I gonna do with Snapchat? When
I
you're no
don't use
longer in
Snapchat.
high school and taking pictures of random people in class and drawing a wiener over them, there's really no point to this app. Plus, the Discovery tab is concerning. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I have not. I don't even have Snapchat on my phone. I've never installed Snapchat on my phone. Like, I used to have
I didn't have a
Snapchat,
cow,
and I would
bro.
use it sometimes, but I just don't really give a shit.
I keep ranting about social media, so I'm just gonna leave
Yeah.
off with these last 2 things. First of all,
I think it's also, like, Snapchat's mainly for younger, like, it's mainly for, like, young adults and teenagers. And so, like, as you get older, I mean, you know, you're just not going to use it the same way anymore. 25 plus should have Snapchat? Yeah, exactly, right?
everything has a TikTok feature. Instagram has
You're
Snapchat.
using Snapchat? If you're a drug dealer, you should use Telegram. You're just an idiot if you're using Snapchat. Yeah, I mean, what dumbass is doing that?
Snapchat has one. YouTube has one. The f***ing Guitar Tab
Anyway.
app has one. I'm trying
Signal?
to learn
Yeah, or
Love
Signal.
Bug
Yeah,
by the
like-
Jonas Brothers. Why do I need to see a 12-year-old ripping their vocal cords to sing Alicia Keys? Second, if you're tired of all these apps becoming so f***ing bloated that you don't even remember what their original purpose was,
Yeah.
you can download all these BS real social media apps
What?
that all your friends are just going to stop using.
Oh, that one died immediately. I remember that. That's a good idea, but for some reason, normies refuse to download it. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know the inner workings of, like, how selling drugs works now. Like, I have no idea. But, I mean, if you're not buying and selling with either a prepaid or through Telegram or Signal, you're like anything that you do, like, I mean, if you're selling weed, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're never really going to get in trouble for that. But if you're doing anything else besides that and you're not using one of or all three of those things, you're just a retard and you deserve to go to jail. Like, I'm sorry, you're just a fucking idiot. Like, at a certain point, like, isn't this natural selection?
For 3 days. Like, I'm pretty sure I still have a friend actively posting to Be Real, just into the void.
What?
I have been f***ing with Locket, though. That one's kind of
Locket,
cool. It puts
fucking
pictures of my
Locket.
friends on my home screen.
I don't
Social
want that.
media lost the plot so long ago. They don't each have their niche anymore. They want to incorporate features from all the other apps so they could be the catch-all app. But
I think that's actually a really good point. Is it all social? Every social media app tried to be the everything app. Every social media app has a live streaming function now. Every single one has a doom scrolling 10-second video function. Every single one has a long-form video function or a short message function. That's a good point.
end up being bland. Like, why would I choose Instagram
pretty good,
over
yeah.
Snapchat or Google Plus, the best
yeah, that one
social
died.
media platform that exists? And this is the big killer here, the homogenization of everything. I already mentioned every app having a TikTok feature, but we also have a